All right, guys. I think that's enough time for everybody to join. But these recording sessions are going to be pretty quick and easy. We're just going to pretty much be going over the things that a quick little recap on what made us go into calls today. Um, I would say the first thing that made me get into calls today was just the fact that I was pretty much looking at a Head and Shoulders breakdown since yesterday. That's why I played shorts up here yesterday. But at open, I noticed that we couldn't sweep the lows, and then after this hourly candle opened up again, we still couldn't sweep the lows. Um, this level right here, 682.50, I did not have it till yesterday. I added it just because we were in between my places of supply and demand zone. My supply zone of 685.20 and my demand zone of 679.32. So I pretty much had this open area right here between my supply and demand zones of no levels. So I just placed this level down right here based off the chop that we just had these past previous days. I used 682.50 as a support or resistance flip right here. Today we just couldn't sweep the lows. We held above our our upside support right here after this chop zone that we had the past previous week, and we just continued our upside. And then on our 15-minute chart, it was pretty much the same thing. I told you guys yesterday yesterday night on our nightly session that I usually just get into the plays on FOMC when it's towards the last hour and a half of the day. Not of the day, the last hour and a half before FOMC starts, because once it gets to the actual hour that FOMC is about to start, the price of the contract should start getting a lot more expensive. So I think, let me see, our purchase was somewhere over here on the 5 minute time frame, which I pretty much bought it around VWAP. Uh, VWAP bounce pretty much gave us a quick 60% all the way to our supply zone. Got a rejection of our supply zone. Our supply zone I adjusted a little bit based off this open right here on the 5 minute, which came up to be 684.22. Went all the way up there, tested it perfectly. The Our demand zone right here, 682.69, is our demand zone that we had last night when we adjusted our levels. It held to the sun right here. That's why I like Fibonacci's and everything, but our levels line up really well with Fibonacci's. But I think if we just had our levels and Fibonacci's are very similar, is what I'm trying to say. But with when I adjust my own levels and I can look at them on the dot, they're gonna be pretty spot on. So right here, we pretty much just had a pretty basic test of retest of supply, reject supply, retest of demand zone, reject demand zone. Every single candle held above it, and we just pretty much had our push all the way to our price targets, pushed above our price targets, and just kept pushing all the way up to our upper price targets, as well as the hourly. Just kept making lower highs on the hourly. And for me to be short today, I would have liked for these lower highs to have been swept and closed underneath right here. In this case right here, we had closed underneath this zone right here and below our low, below this low right here, I would have probably been shorter for FOMC because our charts would have been pointing towards the downside. But in this case right here, we held this side, our 682.50. We kept making lower highs right here, 682.22, 682.56, and 682.88, and we got the final push right here with the break of our little wedge that we had on the hourly time frame. So when it comes to FOMC, I pretty much just like playing FOMC as I want to have a certain direction in mind, and this is gonna have to be the certain direction that's gonna make the most sense in the chart. Because I feel like when it comes to stuff like big data events like FOMC, the the price is already kind of priced out. It's just gonna take It just FOMC just brings in the volume that it wants to push us to, So it's just we're gonna have to try to make the best guess in that point of view when we're making a play for big data events like today. But other than that, it's just chart work every single time for FOMC, no FOMC. With such a big gap up, our play still in the mix. How would you go in and play it? What do you mean our play still in the mix? Megatsu, yeah, plays are still in the mix, bro. Right now, after I just pretty much just gave you guys the rundown on why I chose calls today, everything I was looking for in calls. The intraday, the hourly was both situation of lower highs playing out. We could not get the breakdown for downside to play out for us to get. I would have needed a below 682.90, 681.91 for our confirmation to go below 679.68, really 678.80, 678.81, which would be my next key pivot right here. But we could not get that all day. We just held it up on the 15 minute. I got into the retest right here, and I told you guys yesterday that I get into plays an hour 15 minute, an hour 30 before FOMC because contracts get more expensive right here. I bought contracts at $52, got 60% right here. By the time we got all the way down here, I think my contracts were still break even. I did not see any drawdown because of the expected contract price rise up that it was gonna be. If that makes sense. Let me know if something doesn't make sense to you guys. I'm trying to explain it as easy as possible. But that only happens in days like today, like FOMCs. That so that way, if you guys were to play FOMC next time, just keep that in mind. I think tomorrow, I'll pretty much just be playing it as the same way that I always be playing all time highs. If we can get a good break, above 689.60 and hold with the EMAs catching up, I'll pretty much just try to ride a trend day up. If we hold below 689.60, I'll get the. Let me see on the 5 minute. Yep, that's still the most recent intraday close on the 5 and the 15. So if it stays below that, I'll pretty much just be playing the range between 689.60 and 685.30. But above that, I'll be looking at how the price action is moving. Plus, we were also looking at my. Give me one sec, guys. Give me one second. I should have probably had this pulled up already, but I forgot. But I just want to show you guys right now. I do not know why. Can you guys see this on Discord chat or no? I have my Give me one sec. Let me see if I can make sure I can bring this up on because I see it's still trading view. So let me switch my screen. Change stream. And you guys know I got this tool right here I'm working on right now. The Jax honestly to the upside was pretty much just pointing it up compared to down majority of the day. Right now, my computer I have it set to where I don't know why the colors are weird on my computer, but it usually has colors and where it highlights everything in like light blue, white, purple, and stuff like that. And majority of the day, everything was mostly pointing towards the upside compared to the downside. And I just like everything was for me, everything was pointing towards the upside. And so I liked in those bottom ranges, I like the risk to reward for the downside a little bit better. Especially, I'm gonna go back to my trading view charts. Go on the hourly, especially knowing the fact that we had this hourly breakout right here. I was still waiting for us to, because last week I mentioned on December 1st, I mentioned I was expecting to have a lot of consolidation leading up for the next week or two. This was part of the consolidation right here, all this consolidation, and this was just all the consolidation leading to this breakout right here on the hourly chart, leading up to this last hourly candle close right here at 688.99. We finally got the full move of our breakdown of this wedge right here, of this trend line break, giving us the push all the way to our 688.99. So tomorrow we're just gonna have to play. I was bullish all the way to up over here. So tomorrow we're just gonna have to play the price action that is giving us. And then another confirmation was this hourly candle right here broke out of this wedge right here. Got the retest on the hourly candle right here, and continue pushing up. But yeah, guys, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything on why. Oh, and the reason I also chose 687s is just for the fact that I knew if we got above 685.30, these levels were pretty much showing us 688.24, and I didn't mind the way 687s were priced out. Knowing that there's a good chance that this could go $1 or $2 over to our key pivot over here of in the money. So I like there were $50. I knew if we chopped a bit, they were gonna be that down bad. So they're the best price cons in my opinion for the day. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'll add in my channel what strike I'm looking at beforehand. I added what strike I was looking at in the trading floor today. I want to really try to limit the noise that we make on the trading floor during market hours and keep it into D10. And then obviously we can make whatever noise we want after market hours in the trading floor. But that way trading floor I can send my charts all day. People, if they want to give their own little analysis, they can drop their analysis in there. But that way analysis is easy to find in the trading floor at all times of the day. Yeah, Kaya. So for me, the trend of the day was pretty much based on the hourly right here. This was on Monday, yesterday. Let me turn on these magnets real quick. Let me drop these down right here. This was the last hourly open low that we had before we started bouncing 682.22. I have this level right here of 682.50 that I was watching in this consolidation that kept us below in this consolidation right here. So on Monday we got the push up right here, and we started shorting on Thursday right here because of this reject of 685.20. So today at open, I was pretty much looking to see where we opened. We opened above this zone, this chop zone that we had last week, and we opened above this low right here. For me to be short on the day, I would have liked for us to pretty much open below this low right here or in this chop zone right here, because that I look at candles open and closes a lot. So in this case right here, it opened above 682.22. It started making a higher low, and then on this next candle right here, as long as these candles stayed above 682.56 right here, which was the last open we had, the last highest open we had today, then it was still making a higher low. In this case, still made a higher low, continue the trend. We finally got a breakdown of the trend line right here and continue the trend up. So it was pretty much a case of higher lows on the hourly, pretty much making the staircase up in this case. just trying to explain it as simple as possible. You know, I don't know if that still made sense, but it makes sense to me. It'll make sense the more screen time you guys get into charts and everything. But I look at a lot of open candles a lot. And my favorite time frames to look at candle opens and everything to keep on watch are the hourly, 5 minute, and the 15 minute. A lot on 15 minute. Yeah, I probably got a high contrast setting on, bro, because they usually shows me the colors and everything. And lately, it doesn't even on TradingView. It doesn't even show me the side colors either on the side panels either. So I think I got a high contrast on. But other than that, that's pretty much it on why I got into calls today. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. In the meantime, I'm pretty much gonna be adjusting these levels that based off the movement that I had today, and based it and change it as needed. I don't really think I'm gonna make too many changes right here because this pretty much worked on the dot right here. We had this candle right here opened up at 682.69. We already had this level right here of this demand zone of 682.69. It held up every single time, pushed up right there. It was still the highest low low opening candle that we had right here before the push up. So I'm gonna keep it right there, 682.69. When we get a lot of crazy volatility, I don't really pay too much mind to it. Don't really make too many changes because there was just crazy volatility overall. So I'm just gonna see if I had to make any minor tweaks. Okay, I'll move this 685.32 level, which is a few cents up. I'm not really sure what kind of adjustments I'm gonna have to make over here. Let me see. My bad if I get a little silent sometimes. Sometimes I just gotta look at every single opening and close of these candles just to make sure I got my level exactly where I want it to be. I'm gonna move this level right here a few cents, 686.68, and when you guys see me hover over a candle like this, I'm pretty much just looking at where the candle opened. Right here, I can see this candle opened at 688.31, 688.31. The last open right here was 688.31 for the reject. I think I'm gonna just keep this level right here at 688.31. This candle opened up at 688.31 as well. That makes the most sense to me. So yeah, I pretty much should be watching. I'm gonna need above 689.60 tomorrow. A good hold above that to continue higher. Below that, I can see it push down all the way back down to 685.32. So let's see what happens. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I pretty much understand. I pretty much explained a quick explanation on levels yesterday. I pretty much just played them like ping pong, but pretty much just gonna have to do another level session for you guys to understand better. This was just a quick analysis on why I played calls today. But this was a good explanation today on why levels play the way they do. Right here, quick ping pong. We reject we reject our level down here. We push all the way up here. We reject this level over here. We go all the way down here. We push all the way to this side of the ping pong game, which is still the upper half, just the upper half in this side of the field. Reject right here. Push all the way back over here. Reject over here. Continuation. That's the easiest way I can explain it. And I know my guy Sia. He also plays with Fibs a lot and everything. So that's why I like Fibs a lot. A lot of people play with them. They make the most sense. They align all, really well with each other, and his strategy works as well. So I mean, if you guys okay, if you guys have smaller accounts, then I wouldn't really be worried about runners. I would just be worried about just take your good percentages whenever you guys are happy, because runners, they're more, you can more freely enjoy leaving runners once you buy a good amount of contracts. And let's say if you buy like 300 contracts and they move, and you're finally down to your last 20 runners after a couple 100%, you feel a lot more comfortable leaving runners. So it's just a growing process. And yeah, just pretty much base all your scales off the levels that we're getting right here. Right here, we got some good scales off at 60%, because it gives a good. It's a free 60% before FOMC stress. Now we're in FOMC stress free. And then right here, we could have got another retest of our key pivot right here. Our key pivot was a little bit low right here, so it pretty much gave us a little bit more extra. And then right here, if you guys want, you guys can wait till the next levels to get your next scales off. User levels and just user levels, and but I wouldn't worry about leaving runners till you guys are feeling more comfortable after being after you guys feel 100% comfortable leaving a small amount. Is what I'm trying to say. Why wouldn't the 681 level be a pivot? Right here, I got 681.91. Or what do you mean? But no, yeah, I got 681 as a pivot right here, because this was the last 15-minute candle that held us up right here. 15-minute open that held us up right here. And then for today, it pretty much did the same thing. We could not get the close underneath it right here. So 681.91 is our pivot. I think I had my pivots a lot more different the past few days, but I adjusted them 2 days ago due to the chop. And we just have to I kind of push them a little bit close, some a little bit closer, some adjusted, because with chop it just makes it a little bit harder to get levels. But once you keep adjusting them, and you can clearly see, once you zoom out a little bit, you can clearly see like where it kind of plays like a ping pong game and makes the most sense. I like that 681.91 level as a key pivot, and the 688. Oh, because I feel like last time we got the 688.31 rejection, it played off as a demand rejection, due to the fact that I knew my next key pivot was 689.60 due to the last time we were over here. And I like to have my key pivots at least a couple dollars separated, like $3-4 separated. So I knew if we broke above 685.32, we're gonna get the move to 689.60, or at least 688.31. But I like to have my levels a few dollars separated, and it just made the most sense to me. And as you guys adjust levels on a daily basis, it just start making sense to you guys as well, on where you guys would like your levels to be at certain points. I just play the jacks where it's calling the most attention, and if it lines up the most with my analysis, that's how I play the jacks mostly. Sometimes I look at my tool has flow, so you can see who's buying and everything. But I just like to play the jacks as where the jacks is at what strikes are is calling me the most, and if it lines up with my levels. But all right, guys, I think that's gonna be everything. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. But that should be it for tonight's session, and we should be ready for tomorrow. Here, I'm gonna let C up so he can explain if you guys wanna stay, I would recommend staying so you guys can see what C has to say. Hopefully, he has to say something about how he uses his Fibonacci's in for his levels.
Nah, you were just ignoring me. I was asking, how do I top tick?
What happened?
How do I top tick? You were ignoring me.
How do you top tick like on chart on the
Yes.
treasure? I
How do I
thought,
snipe the top?
bro, you just sometimes you just gotta see a touch your level and you just gotta let your nuts hang, bro. Honestly.
Oh,
But nah,
thank you, thank you. That's all I
you
needed.
just gotta just make sure all the levels line up on every time frame, and you'll be money.
All right. Do I need?
All right, guys. Today we're gonna be going over our Thursday calls. Um, so pretty much going over our Thursday calls. I did not play none of the price action in the morning. As soon as the morning happened, I usually like to wait the first 15 to 30 minutes of the morning price action, let the price action settle down a little bit, but it was moving kind of crazy, so I just didn't catch this bottom right here. We had a quick sweep to the lows, quick bounce back right here. As soon as I seen that we did not stay below high of day, um, that we sweep high of day, I was looking for an entry on calls, so that's when I started letting you guys know. At first, I was looking for us to stay below shorts if I got a 15-minute close below 685.32, but I saw the momentum pushing, so I wanted to wait and give it a confirmation, making sure it's not a double top right here to continue. As soon as we broke high of day and we closed above our key pivot of 689.32, which is the same level that we got yesterday when we were adjusting our levels, I let you guys know in the chat that I was looking to get into calls at an entry at a retest of our key pivot right here, 685.32. Unfortunately for us, we got into it. We got into it a little bit early, so we had a little bit of chop to face in between. But I was pretty much looking at a hold of VWAP and a hold of key pivot on the 15 minute. I always like to look at the 15 minute for the best confirmations. Give me one second. I'm gonna put a circle where I got into calls. Um, right here, I honestly think that this sweep right here below VWAP and below our key pivot on the 15 minute was just a crazy liquidity sweep, trying to get the calls out or in trying to get their best entries in before the actual push up towards for the rest of the day. But as soon as I bought calls around this area right here on the retest of this level, I continue holding calls as long as the 15 minute held above our key pivot and VWAP. Right here, if I'm gonna be honest, I was thinking about closing out, but looking at this range right here, looking how choppy it was, I was trying to see if there's a range between our supply, our demand zone over here of 686.68 and 684.22, and our key pivot right here as the middle ground. So once it started giving us a quick reversal right here, especially on the 5 minute closed out down here, gave us the liquidity sweep. Trying to get everybody to stop out. As soon as it started reversing right here, we got into more lotto positions. We got into calls again for a lotto size for a quick push right here. It got I forgot how much it got, but it got like 60%, and we bought more calls as well on this entry over here. So we got a 23 entry. We had a 23 entry, and we averaged down to a 20. And then this one right here, as I thought it was gonna just be a range days that we, like I mentioned earlier, it's just gonna be from over here. As soon as I saw that it held up VWAP again, giving us a staircase pattern over here. we could not sweep these lows right here to continue our continuation down here. We start holding VWAP, the 15 minutes, still holding our key pivot. The, the 15-minute closed above our key pivot. We got back into the same calls that we closed. We closed on the 690s. Our first average was $11. Our re-entry was it was $8. Let me check. I think it was $8 if I remember correctly. But as soon as I seen the 15-minute hold our key pivot, especially from yesterday's price action as well, a good close above our key pivot usually gives us over here. So I've been bullish over here to give us our first price target, our gap fill, second price target, these upper areas over here of our supply zone between 688.31 and 689.60. And I do think it was a little bit crazy right there because on the hourly as well, I was gonna stay short if we stay below our key pivot and our hourly level and our EMA. I was gonna stay short so we can continue our downside right here on this hourly candle. But when I seen it push back above, it was back above our level of 685.20. And then this hourly close, which is the same 5-minute close that it gave us on the right below VWAP, sweeped it on both the hourly and the 5 and the 15-minute. Trying to sweep everybody out of their positions, and a quick reversal right here, giving us gap fill and giving us our upper price targets. Um, I'm not using an MA, I'm using an EMA, and it's the 9 EMA. 9 EMA and VWAP. Those are the only two. I know a lot other people use other EMAs as well. I just really like the 9 EMA for me, and VWAP the most. I use the 9 EMA and VWAP for my hourly as well. Sometimes 200, but it just depends on 200. Where's the 200 is really far away, so I haven't really been paying too much attention to it on the hourly. But yeah, I just thought it was like we pretty much had pretty crazy price action right here. We closed below our level right here of 680. We opened on the day below our level right here of 685.20. Gave us a quick sweep all the way down to 682.50, which on some other days it takes multiple hourly candles right here. This one did it in like less than 30 minutes and kept us over here. That's why I was pretty bullish on the day, because we usually stay above this range right here. We start seeing this push above on the hourly as well. Just a crazy liquidity sweep right here, but luckily we added more into position once we got the confirmation on the intraday time frame that it wanted to stay above, and we got the continuation above. And then once we got the continuation above our key pivot of 685.32, we pretty much just kept it on the 15-minute time frame the entire rest of the time, and we just let the 15-minute ride it out the rest of the time. It's not it's nothing too complicated. All I was really hoping for is I did get in a little bit late after all these crazy price action moves right here, volatility moves right here. This big 15-minute sweep, this big 15-minute buy from lows. I did know that I was already buying at a risky spot just for the fact that we did just sweep the lows, but majority of the time frames were giving me the confirmation that we're going to continue higher. And once every time frame showed me that we're not going to continue higher, it invalidated it right away, and we continued to validate upside again, and we continue to add. If that makes sense. Nah, not right now, Rocky. For me, the 15-minute time frame just gives me the best confirmations intraday wise. Like the hourly time frame gives me the biggest confirmation on the daily the what's going to be the daily trend for the next couple hours, compared to the intraday trend is what the 15-minute gives me the best confirmation intraday wise, compared to, I know a lot of people use like other time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute. I like the 5 minute as well. The 5 minute helps me get confirmations when there's like a lot of chop, and I try finding for the best exact points. But Overall, the 15-minute gives me the most confirmation intraday wise for the intraday moves. But yeah, pretty easy honestly. So now the only thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pretty much just adjust some of the levels that I had set from yesterday night when we were all on live together, and just adjust them by a few cents, adjust them as needed, and then that way we can be prepared for tomorrow. So this 682.69 level over here, I think I'm gonna prefer a little bit down right here at 682.65. This candle right here opened at 682.66. So now my demand zone over here, if we were to break below 685.90, 685.32 would be between 682.65 and 681.91. Right here, there's a little bit of chop on the 15-minute time frame, so I'm just gonna adjust my levels just by a few cents as needed. When I'm hovering over a candle, I'm just looking to see where exactly this candle, some of these candles opened at. So 685.30, I got this level at 685.28. Last bottom we had over here was 685.28 before the continuation up. I'm just gonna adjust it to the most recent price action we had right here, 685.28. Not gonna complicate it too much. Just move it a few cents from what I originally had it at. And right here, I do know that the market continued climbing after the market close. So I'm gonna see what it gives us right here. I have the low right here at 689.60. Right here, it did close above it, continued giving us that push up. Started backing back up over here. Open 61. Just gonna adjust it by 1 cent. So tomorrow, what I'll pretty much be looking at is if we close above 689.61, we'll get the continuation back around this range over here. This and right now, for some of these levels up here and to the upside, above at all-time highs, I'm gonna use the Fibonacci's to get some of these levels to the all-time highs. Okay, when it comes to getting price targets to all-time highs, and right now is a perfect time to explain it to you guys because right now we're at all-time highs as is. I usually just go to the fibs. I go to the fib retracement. I set it down at where I have my last key pivot, which right here on the first I set it down for my first entry is 685.28. My last key pivot over here, 685.28. Lead it all the way to my highest key pivot, which is 689.61. Pretty much that's my price targets right here. So tomorrow, above 689.61, I'll probably be trying to see if I can get these price targets up here. If we get above 689.61, I just see we got a little bit of a pullback, but we'll just try to play the levels as they give it to us tomorrow. bad, guys. I got a notification, but that's pretty much how I get my levels to all time highs right there. I just put the fibs to my last level, put it all the way back to my my highest level, and I let the fibs give me my price targets above. And then these white boxes over here are pretty much just my gaps right here. What hours do I usually trade? I just look at the 15 minute time frame and the 15 minute time frame, the 5 minute time frame, and the hourly. My bad. Did that make sense, Rocky? How did I draw fibs for all time highs? I just set it down to my most recent levels, and then I let the fibs give me continuation price targets. Yeah, I have Wiz. Today I just wasn't fast enough to catch those bottom grabs and stuff like that. But like today, I was interested in getting but I just thought it was moving really quick or something, you know. So I was just not quick enough with it. But right here, like this bottom grab at these bottom levels would have played perfect. Because this right here was at 30 minutes after. But if you wanted a short as well, I mean, if you had a setup for shorts, you could have took it. But this is after the first 30 minutes at the 9 a.m. Central candle. 9 a.m. hourly Central candle, however you say that. Not bad, guys. I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired today, but the first 30 minutes right here, which I usually like to play the 9 a.m. I just wasn't fast enough to catch it, so I just waited for to see what actually happened, and it just moved too quick. Waited to see what actually happened after everything. Waiting to see if we got confirmation for upside after this whole 15-minute candle happened. I did get the confirmations, and just played it off the retest at this when we were over here. But other than that, I just wasn't fast enough. Yeah, like if you have a setup right there, was like for me, I wouldn't have seen that setup. You know, I would have seen that setup if this 15 minutes stayed right here below our key pivot, but I wouldn't have that setup right here. But if you had that setup, then I'll take it. You know, but me, I just like to wait for the first 15 to 30 minutes to see what happens. That way, I can kind of see like a clear indication of how the market is moving because these past few days have also been moving really choppy. So when the morning is just moving choppy overall, then I know what kind of day it's gonna be. Yeah, major legs. So all my white levels are they're all my key pivots, which are all the main ones that I pay attention. If we get a full confirmation close on the 15-minute time frame, continuation up, continuation down, and then like let's say if in this case right here, in this case right here, it's not pushing all the way to our key pivot down here from this break right here, but it got the retest of our demand zone. For me, this would be if I'm looking for calls, this would be an area where I would look to buy into with the stop loss around this area right here. If I see Chapo, if I'm in here and I see chop around key pivot around this area, probably move the stop loss, slow chop. I'll probably move the stop loss over here, see what the range looks around this area right, this full area right here. But this would be my buy area if I'm looking to buy call. If I'm looking to buy calls, if the setup is making sense for me, and with the stop loss below key pivot, and then right here, let's say in this case right here, it could get the full move up. This would be my area to look to short on the retest of the supply zone right here. If I miss top grabs right here, I see that we're starting to move down. We start pushing below our supply zone. We start holding below our supply zone, and we can't close above our supply zone. This would be like another retest area for me on the retest of our supply zone before we get our move to our demand zone down here. So for me, supply and demand zones, I can use them as retest areas to get into plays, or if it's just holding, um, I'll look to get into plays there. But the main ones I look at are my key pivots. Yeah, you guys did have my levels prior to today's market. I always drop my levels in chart analysis section every night, and last night we fixed up our levels together. So, uh, but my advice for the people that were stopped that got stopped out at 30% is honestly, this is 0 day expiration. If you guys want to play something that's gonna move the percentages a lot more slower but a lot more safer in your guys' regards, I would look to play some 1 day or 2 day expirations. I don't know about 3 day because I don't know how well they would move, but I feel like at least a 1 day would move fairly quick for the move that we got to overall move that we got today compared to like a 3 day. You know. Good night, Kaya. I hope you guys. I hope you had a good understanding of today's explanations. But yeah, guys, I think that's everything for today's calls overview and fixing up our levels for tonight, getting them for tomorrow. Might just stop out manually, RT. Honestly, just manually. No automatic stop loss on Robinhood. The only time I have set sales is when I have calls. Well, not when I have calls. When I'm looking for sales to hit like a crazy number, like 100%. You know, that way I can have those right there on my main screen that I can click on and adjust ASAP. Unless it just went quick to those cells, then more money. But other than that, I only use those two cells for the positive end. But I use automatic. I automatically close for the stop losses. Anytime, Wiz. Let me know if you guys need anything. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep giving you a heads up. Like today, when I said I'm looking for shorts, was right here, but I never gave you guys the signal to go long due to the fact that this 15 minute right here started pushing up. So when it started pushing all the way over here, I started letting you guys know that I'm gonna start looking to get into calls once we get the retest over here, and we got the retest over here. We can start adding longs over here. So um, if you guys are gonna day trade, you guys make sure you guys' opinions can change quick, you know, because I never know. Things move really quick in options, especially with the levels and everything. So you just gotta be able to make. You can't be stuck on one opinion at all times. I would just sell that at a profit, honestly. Um, Try to get above 50%, bro. Every time, just try to get good entries. First of all, try to get good entries. 0 days move extremely quick. I can't do nothing about the fact that contracts move in a blink of an eye like that. You know, I'm trying to let you guys know, but there's always gonna be re-entries. Wait for a re-entry. There's gonna be more plays, and don't rush into it. This is part of the mental battle. Don't get into FOMO or none of that stuff. Just be patient. Wait for a good re-entry. Wait for a good retest, because every time I get in, there's usually gonna be a retest before it starts going and it starts moving. Unless it just starts automatically swooping right away, then we'll be able to tell. But I'll just wait for a retest, honestly, because majority of the time my contracts are sitting at break even size before they actually go. So do not feed into FOMO. But yeah, for smaller accounts, just try to focus on getting above 50%. Honestly, 50%. I feel like in ODTs, getting 50% is fairly easy. I'm not gonna say like fairly easy like that, but unless it's moving quick, always have your levels set. Always have your levels set, and if it's moving fairly slow and it's giving you like, let's say, like 40%, 30%, take it at your levels. Be happy with what the market is giving you. You know. But if it's not hitting your levels and there's still if it's not hitting your level and it's close to hitting above 50%, then you guys should be good. But unless it's giving you like slow price action and 40%, then you'll be able to tell by the way the price action is moving, and you'll have to be able to take those 40% on that slow grind. 40-30% on that slow grind. But all right, guys, I think that'll be enough. That'll be everything for me. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna Hold on. I'm gonna see if I had to adjust this level a little bit right here. This 688.31. That 688.31, I'm gonna move it down to 697.31. Just for this open right here. But give me 1 second, guys. I just sometimes it takes a little bit longer than expected. Just gotta look at it to every single candle. Make sure if you find the one that makes the most sense. I'm gonna set it off right there, FOMC, which is kind of crazy. So I'm just gonna ignore this. We got the close right here, pushed down. We got the confirmation close right here. We pushed up right here. We held, pushed up again. 688.24. And then I'll drop these levels and drop them in the chart analysis section tonight. But all right, guys, let me know if you guys have any questions. You guys could always ask me questions in the chat. If I'm available, you guys always know I'm gonna answer them. But good luck tomorrow, guys, and let's get some money. Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, we'll just be going over our December 12th Friday shorts that we took today. Today on shorts, we opened up at, what did we open up at today? 8:30. We opened up all the way up here, honestly. So I missed the complete top grab on shorts. We opened up at around 688.09. I usually like to wait for the first 5 to 15 minute price action to happen. That way, I just let whatever happens for the price action to settle in. So if the runs already right off the morning, then I most likely missed the move. In this case, I missed the top grab, which is okay. You know, I like to wait for the couple first 15 to 30 minutes to happen. That way I can decide on a position. In this case, I waited a lot longer than the 15-30 minutes because I realized I didn't know what was a good entry for me. For me, I was gonna start looking at calls if we can hold up our key pivot over here of 685.28, which I mentioned. I was gonna start looking at calls if we can hold up that level, but it was a fast sweep as soon as I mentioned that. So as soon as I mentioned that, the 15 minute we got a 15 minute close underneath our key pivot of 685.28. As soon as we got our close of our key pivot 685.28, I drew up a circle up here, letting you guys know that I'm gonna start looking for a retest up here because I knew once we broke underneath our key pivot, then our continuation price targets were gonna be down here 681.91. But in this case, it swept under 681.91 so quick it gave us our continuation price targets down here. But I just waited for the retest to happen. In this case, the retest happened. And I also like when I get a good clean retest of our key pivot and they line up perfectly with our 15 minute, not with our 15 minute, with our 90 MA in both time frames, the 5 minute and the 15 minute. In this case right here, it got the quick retest of the 90 MA on the 15 minute and continued downside real quick on the 5 minute. Same thing. Our stop loss was we were gonna start looking for a stop loss. So if we got a 15 minute close above our key pivot 685.28, and I was also gonna be looking at the 90 MA on the 15 minute time frame as well to look for a continuation. In this case, everything rejected, giving us an easy continuation down to our next price targets. And I started taking scales around 70, which was around like low of day. And then after we got our scales in, boom, this next candle gave us easy 300 and then 500%, 500, 600%. So that was an amazing retest and rejection right there. And like I mentioned, this was our key pivot that I was looking at intraday wise, 685.28, and it lined up perfectly with our 5 minute and our 15 minute. But not only that, I also liked it because I noticed when we got the hourly close down here, we got the hourly close underneath our hourly demand of 685.20. And in this case, we closed all the way down here at 683.72, 683.72, around this area right here on both time frames. I went to get the retest on both time frames, which they both lined up around the same area of 685.20, 685.28. It just lined up clean on both time frames, and this level right here of 682.50, we added it during the week. As soon as really I knew if the good price action continued, we continue sweeping, we were gonna most likely gonna get a test this bottom supply that we have over here of 679.32 that we've had this level all week in the beginning, which I've noted with the chop as well. Yeah, top grab was, I think, yeah, I don't, because even us, we didn't get a top grab, but some people, because I'm not sure what was the reason of them trying to burn my contracts like this, but I got into shorts near my key pivot right here, 685.28. This little wick right here took my shorts from $29 to $20, $19. I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy. You guys mentioned it in the chat. I didn't even notice because I was just looking at the chart. I wasn't looking at how bad they were. I was just thinking they were just down a few bucks, maybe like at 25, 24. But that's what happens when they want to burn you out, right? When they want to scare you off right before the big move. And we held our levels. We held everything that we wanted it to hold, and we got easy price targets below. What grid, bro? Yeah, bro. It was a really clean retest and rejection snipe. Oh, this grid. I'll see over the weekend. I'll see if I like it without it and without it. I'll test with it. See how I feel. But that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, yeah, we got the close, and then as soon as we got the close underneath our next key pivot right here, we pretty much just got the continuation all the way down to our bottom demand right here. Uh, do you guys have any questions? I've been trying to take everybody's recommendations that you guys added into feedback in the feedback section into thought. I've been trying to give a lot more behind. I've been trying to give thoughts before plays and everything. Trying to make sure everybody's lined up on the same page and everything. Trying to make sure everybody likes this Discord as much as possible. Everybody's getting the best education they can. Bro, it just moved too quick. Like I didn't even have to set a stop loss or nothing, bro. It just moved 300%. I just kept using the EMA, and then once we started breaking EMAs, once we started holding up demand right here, EMAs, and right here we started testing these levels down here as well. It was it was just confirmation that we just weren't gonna continue breaking down. It would have been crazy. We could continue breaking down on that move right there. It's just the 9 EMA, 9 EMA and VWAP. 9 EMA and VWAP are the main things I use. And then I would say for a top grab, it would have been easy because you guys know I'm really big into looking at every single candle open. I would say the candle openings are more important to me than the candle closes. In this case right here, this was the last open before. This was the highest open we've had before it started pushing up right here. This was this is a close right here, so this does not count as an open right here. This is the last open, aka the last support that we've had before the push up. In this case right here, we pretty much open below that last support right here as well, so we just continue pushing up. If for us to continue pushing up, we would have probably needed an hourly support above this 688.99 level on the hourly. So shorts looked good right off opening and everything. It just moved really quick, so I just waited for what looked best to me. Yeah, I'll probably have to explain a little bit with Jex over the weekend in the chat or something. This was just a quick session on what I look like, but here, let me switch the screen real quick to the Jex screen. That way I can show it. But I don't think. Let me see if it's still showing. What's today's date? Today's the 12th. Give me one sec. Nah, it's not showing today's data anymore. It's already showing for Monday's data. So the Jex was pretty much just showing since yesterday. It was pretty much showing a lot of heavy volume coming to 680s. And then what do? We look at where the market closed today. We closed around the 680 area, 681.74, pushing around VWAP, chopping around, but we stayed around 680s area. So I would have to explain that another time in the chat or something. But I just use whatever the Jex is pulling, and if it matches up with my levels on my hourly time frame and my intraday time frame, that's my best risk to reward that I like in the day. Here, I'll show you guys the Jex. Let's see what the Jex is showing right now on Monday. Obviously, it's gonna change a lot by the time we get to Monday, but they usually have colors and everything. It's I got currently got it's a PC thing right now. I gotta fix my thing so I can show my colors and everything. It got pretty colors, but shoot, right now for Monday we're at 681. I mean, still even 680 for Monday had the highest pool that I can see, but it looked like a much crazier pool on the 0 day chart, which it usually does. Um, Not yet. Star Hitter is still in the beta. It's probably gonna be out in the. It's probably gonna be ready in the next 2 weeks. But right now, I'm still testing the beta and everything. I'm still having people that know how to use Jex. They use Jex in their daily trading. If they want to beta test it, they can let me know, and I can let them beta test it. But that's only people that use Jex on a daily basis, so they can give me feedback. How do you how do you set support lines? Is it opening and closing for the past 5 days? Nah, bro, it's just opening and closing on the most recent price action that we've had, and then I might have to scroll back a little bit if I need a little bit more data to confirm. But it's based off the most recent price action we've had, like in this case right here. I set this level right here, 685.28. I set this level with you guys based off yesterday's price action, Thursday's price action, which this was the lowest close we've had before the continuation up. Right here on the 15 minutes, not as clear, but right here, this was just the liquidity sweep that we mentioned yesterday. And 15 minutes stayed above there right here, but this was the last level that we marked down last night, and right here we used it as support on the 5 and the 15 minute. And the 15 minute just obviously doesn't show right now, but most of our levels are drawn on the 5 and the 15. With if we can get a confirmation on the 15 a little bit better, but I use levels on the 5 and the 15 based off the most recent price action that we've had. I'm gonna have just Spy Jex. I'm gonna have a channel that with Spy Jex just on my. But if you guys want data, you guys will have to subscribe to it. But I'll have regular Jex data that drops by. So if you guys just trace by, you guys can just use that, in the channel. But alright, guys, I think that should be everything. I'm glad. I love seeing a lot of you guys make money today. I'm glad you guys made money today. So let's keep the momentum going. We had an amazing week this week, and we'll get our levels set up. We'll get everything going, and we'll be ready for Monday, guys. But you guys take care, and you guys have a blessed weekend. Take care, guys.